Welcome back to another episode of the Who You Know Show podcast, where what you know is important, but who you know can make all the difference in your business, career, relationships, and life. My name is Trevor Houston, and on this show, you'll learn the strategy, grit, and mindset it takes to overcome obstacles so you can level up in your career, recover your cash flow, and live the life of purpose that God intended for you. Don't forget to look at the mic drop moments time-stamped in the show notes below. And if you've enjoyed today's episode, make sure to pay it forward, subscribe, and leave an honest review so we can improve. Thanks for listening. My name is Trevor Houston, and please enjoy this episode of the Who You Know Show.
I've been waiting for this moment. We've got the Ethan Beute online with us. What is up, Ethan?
Thank you so much, man. Those testimonials they played in the break are just, what you guys are doing is so good. I'm just really excited to be even some small part of it.
You are a big part of it, man. So I want to go backwards for just a moment, and then we'll get into some of your background and stuff like that. I started using BombBomb as a feature for our business. Mark and I, we started using the product in our financial services company, right? And, you know, when we were volunteering, helping the job seekers and all that kind of stuff, we noticed that they were sending in thank you emails to the recruiters and the interviews, you know, after, you know, as a follow-up. And so I was like, well, why wouldn't you do it with BombBomb, right? So I started teaching it as more of a concept. I didn't know if it would work or not, but I knew what it did in my business and I knew how it transformed the business, right? And so I figured, why wouldn't it work here too? And so I started teaching it as strategy and got a couple of job seekers to kind of bite in on it. And then here was the secret, or here was the amazing part, the results. The results that came back, the analytics, when you could see, and they would show me the responses, I was like, oh, okay, this isn't concept anymore. This works. You have been a very, very important part in this whole process.
Thank you so much. And for folks who don't know, Trevor sent more than 2,500 videos out of his BombBomb account. I was just in my admin dashboard. And so this isn't just some guy talking about an idea and sharing other people's successes. This is a guy who's living it every day. So it's a privilege to be of service and value, as anyone who's been fortunate enough to enjoy that knows. And so stories like yours and the people in the Who You Know community are what bring me to life. And I will have been here 9 years full time in September, which is twice as long as I've been anywhere in my career. And it's the way you teed that up that just keeps me alive in this and keeps me excited about doing what you already kind of referred to as like, this is transcendent. This isn't just a tactic or a strategy or even a process. This is a habit. My vision for this style of simple video communication is appropriate for almost anyone working in a professional capacity or looking to work in a professional capacity. Yeah. And for almost any message that you're sending, if you want to communicate more clearly or have people feel like they know you, or to save some time by talking instead of typing, or to stand out, so many benefits to it. And so this really transcends any one thing. And I want someone going to the record button to be as common as picking up the phone or jumping on a Zoom call or getting in a conference room where we can do that regularly again, or typing out an email. All these things we kind of take for granted every day is just a normal part of the way that we operate. I want a casual video message to be as common as those things. And I know that we'll get there, and it takes a community like this to kind of just like move it one person, one positive response at a time.
Yeah, absolutely. I want to go backwards a little bit for you, because this is our first time doing a real collaboration. So I want to learn more about your backstory, where you come from. I was doing a little research before the show, noticed that you've done some promotional and marketing for a few news stations. Is that right?
Absolutely. Yes. So I did an internship when I was in college. I loved school. And I was at the University of Michigan. I grew up in Grand Rapids, Michigan. When people started the school was asking me to declare a major. So I, kind of reverse engineered communication and psychology as like paths to get out on time. And I had no idea what I wanted to do. So I just started joining some clubs and groups, and I joined the PR club, which I didn't even know what PR was at the time. But all these kids were talking about their radio and television and newspaper internships in Detroit or Chicago or back on the East Coast or wherever. So I went home to Grand Rapids for the summer, got an internship at the Fox station there, and ended up running marketing teams inside local television stations in Grand Rapids and Chicago, and then later out here in Colorado Springs, where I am today, for about a dozen years. And so it wasn't a design path. It wasn't something that I was looking for. It was just something that was fun, that I was good at. It was challenging. I wouldn't say it was insanely financially rewarding, but that's just one of a number of benefits that, a job can provide. And so I knew when I moved out here to Colorado Springs that it was probably my last job in TV. I was bored of it. It wasn't a particularly interesting product or service to me anymore. And so I met the two co-founders of BombBomb socially out here in Colorado Springs. And this is something I guess I would encourage anyone to do. I didn't know what I wanted to do next. My entire career was built in this one industry. And so I wanted to know, what do I really like doing? What skills are transferable? What will people pay me for? And so I just started doing project work. And so for me, fortunately, a lot of what I was doing in television transferred to digital, basically. It was just like 08, 09. And so I was writing landing pages. I was writing email campaigns, obviously making videos. It was something that I was comfortable doing. And so I was doing that for a variety of companies. And at a certain point, Darren Dawson and Connor McCluskey, the two co-founders of BombBomb, were like, "Hey man, I don't know when it's going to be, but we're going to call you and you're going to join us." I was like, "Okay." And it was interesting because, I left, like in terms of total comp, I left a lot on the table to join this company that had fewer than 10 employees and fewer than 200 customers. And, some of those leaps of faith are just things that you do because, the spirit was right. The motivation was right. The idea was good. It was going to be fun and interesting and challenging. My wife was supportive, which was very helpful,
Yeah, that'll help.
Yeah, totally. And so, so that's kind of how I arrived here at BombBomb. And again, that was 9 years ago almost. And, it was, again, that wasn't by design either. But it all makes sense in hindsight.
Tell us about the book, Rehumanize Your Business, right? You got the book here, Rehumanize Your Business. I got this one autographed, man. That's what I'm saying. Look at it. Like, let's see, he featured me in the book, which is pretty cool. So he says, "It's a privilege to be part of the community, an honor to have you, grace these pages. Thank you for sharing our vision." Look at that. That's awesome. So I appreciate the feature. Tell us about what inspired the book, and also you have a podcast.
I do. Yeah. So the book, the podcast came out of the process of writing the book, which I think I'll get to. So I hit my 6-year full-time anniversary here at BombBomb, and I was just so excited about really the community of like-minded people that we built around this practice. It's not so much about the software, it's this philosophy that I can be more personal and more human in my communication every day, and therefore be more effective and satisfied in the work that I'm doing and the way that I'm doing it. And so, again, we had fewer than 200 customers when I started. And at that point, we maybe had 30 or 40,000. We're over 55,000 now. But I was just like, I hit my anniversary. I got reflective. And I was just really proud and excited about, this movement that we were building with and through and for our customers like you. And, I had spent a lot of time. I'd written maybe 500 or 600 blog posts on the BombBomb blog. And a lot of them were based in customer stories, things customers were doing, people in different industries, people in different roles, people with different approaches and styles and strategies. And so, I had all of this kind of internal to me because I was learning and teaching it and practicing it alongside with all our customers for years. And so I ended up writing a blog post called "You Are a Pioneer." And this was when it occurred to me that this needs to move. This needs to be normal. And I don't know whether it's going to take 5 years or 10 years or 20 years or whatever, but this practice needs to be normal in business, period. And so,
well, I love that. I
yeah,
hate to cut you off, but I love what you're
no,
saying
you're
there.
good.
And I'm curious, now that we're talking about that, how has that impacted, the progression of BombBomb users? Has it made things, take off? People are looking for better ways to communicate. They're looking for, talk to me about that.
Yeah, really interesting dynamic. So as you well know, the problem that we solve for people, or the opportunity that we help people take advantage of, is the exact same problem or opportunity today, like mid-COVID, as it was 5 years ago. I don't forget when you joined us, but 5 years ago, let's say when you joined us, which is, I don't have the time to overcome the distance between me and all the people I need to connect and communicate with. Can I send myself at my convenience and have people experience me in person at their convenience, just more personal, more human, more clear, etc. And so COVID, what it did, of course, was eliminate the opportunity to close that distance gap. So whether you're dealing with people across town or across the county or across the state or across the country or around the world, in many cases, you can't get on a plane anymore, or you're not going to be welcome if you show up at someone's office and knock on their door. They don't want to see you in person right now. And so this problem and opportunity, I think what COVID did was made people more acutely aware of their need to stay face to face. And this opportunity, not just to do it through live video as we're doing now, or through Zoom calls, Microsoft Teams, Google Meet, whatever, but also this opportunity to record and send them kind of asynchronously for convenience. And then, of course, tracking closes the gap, so you know when people are experiencing you in person. But so we had a lot of heightened interest, especially, March, April, May. It was just like everything kind of doubled for us. And it's since kind of tapered off a little bit. But, one of the things I'm super motivated by is making sure that the people who found us during this period of acute need, where you couldn't get face to face with people, understand that they need to continue this practice indefinitely going forward, just as people 2 years ago, 5 years ago, 10 years ago found us and started making it a habit and a practice that improved their relationships and therefore improved their businesses.
Well, 100%. We have a lot of people that use the product to get landed. Okay. And once they get landed, they continue to use it with their new company.
Yeah.
The new company is so impressed because it's one of the key aspects that brought them on in the first place, that they hired them for.
Right.
They tell them that. They're like, man, we loved what you were doing. That was so creative.
Mm-hmm.
So why would you not continue to use it once you started working there? Would you drop it? No.
Yeah.
So you continue to use it. They're so impressed by it. Like when you go to a meeting and then you recap your meeting in a form of a video and send it to your boss or whatever, he's so impressed by that. We've got people get promoted. All kinds of cool things are happening because of it.
Yeah.
But yeah, like Ethan said, don't just, pick it up while you need it and then drop it when you don't need it anymore.
Right.
It's not a gimmick. It's not a parlor trick. It's not a one-off. It's not a lot of people come to this in order to get more attention, and they will get attention. If you send a video, so few people are doing it that you'll immediately stand out and you'll get that attention. But this is not a trick. This is a habit. It's a lifestyle. It's an approach. And I love that use case you just offered there, Trevor, which is, we were all in this meeting together. And so now I'm going to do, for the purpose of recapping the most salient points for the people who were there, and maybe catching people up who were not able to make the meeting, right? Because not everyone makes all the meetings that they're invited to.
Yeah.
I'm going to 2 or 3 minutes and just recap. There's so many times that we're clicking send, or would be clicking send on a message, that a video is a great replacement for what would otherwise just be a bunch of typed out text.
100%. Think about those times, guys, that you've received an email, because I still get them. Think about it when you get an email that's this long.
You don't want to read it.
Just this long. This
It takes time.
this long.
Well, and there's a lot of
Like
research.
you wrote a book.
There's chapter 3, but it goes into a ton of science, like proven problems with this typed out text. Besides the obvious things like, I don't really want to type it all, and the receiving person probably doesn't want to read it all. We overestimate our ability to do it well and clearly. We often leave people confused. We wind up misunderstood, and all these other, wind up in back and forth exchanges to get the clarity. And
Yep.
so, there's a ton of benefits to it.
So I've got a couple more questions here for you while I got a few more minutes with you. So are there any new updates that are coming? I know you recently, the call to action embedded inside the video has been just, oh, guys, y'all need to check this product out if you haven't. There's a call to action that pops up, and you can include a calendar, you can include your resume, you can include all kinds of, it's just phenomenal, so that as they're playing the video, your resume pops up, or your calendar it's so cool. Anything new coming?
That's a really good one. That's actually the first thing that came to mind. And we're going to make a lot of improvements to that. I mean, that is the most base release of that opportunity that we've created. And so the cool thing about that Google Chrome extension is that it's paralleled in the mobile experience in the iPhone and Android apps with the keyboard function. Our whole goal is to allow you to easily record a video, or grab a video out of your library, or screen record a video and put it anywhere that you want, right? So it works awesome inside Gmail. It works great from our web app. The way I think started, Trevor, was designing emails in the email composer and sending them out to lists of people. So you can do all that stuff. But kind of the next wave here is through Chrome and eventually other browsers and the mobile app and the keyboard that we built inside the mobile app. You can easily access recorded videos or record new videos and take the link or take the HTML and drop them anywhere. So multiple times daily, I'm recording a video in the Chrome extension, taking the link and dropping it into a LinkedIn message. It populates the little animated preview. It populates the title. I also do those and I drop them into Slack. I drop them into Slack messages internally to individuals and groups at BombBomb and in some of the other Slack channels that I'm in. I just joined a kind of a digital community for marketers. There's a big welcome thread. I just recorded a video, dropped the link in, it populated the thumbnail, and everyone was like, "Oh my gosh, I feel like I." And so there's just so many benefits to that. So, you can continue to do all the great stuff that we've enabled for years, but really kind of where this is going is video to improve your communication anywhere, anytime. And those are kind of the two main places that is really in development and coming to life today.
So I have maybe a secret that maybe you don't even know about, because Alicia did not.
I learn things from customers all the time.
Isn't that
That's
awesome?
the beauty of it.
So, and this is something I teach inside of our summit. So Alicia wasn't aware of this. You can actually do a video comment. Okay. So a message is one thing, but a comment on LinkedIn, right? Instead of, somebody has content, maybe you're commenting on their post.
Okay.
And it will pull up that preview, right? So if you can imagine, there's like a big influencer that has, 1,000 comments on their post, right? They got 1,000 comments, but you're the only one that pops up with a video, and then you use a little whiteboard and you write their name on it, and that name will grab their attention.
It will.
Right? And they will press play, and you imagine that you have 1,000 people responding to you, but only one in a video with their name on it. Like, it's powerful and it gets people's attention. But there's a secret to how you do it. It's not the easiest way to do. It has to be done. The only way to do it is you have to do it from mobile. Okay. You can't do it from desktop.
Ethan, I have a question for you. We get this a lot in the networking groups and the training sessions that we do. A lot of people in our group are more experienced, right, in their careers.
Right.
They maybe aren't as quick or early adopter status, right? If you kind of read between the lines there.
Baby boom.
A lot of people have some trepidation with using video. What's some advice that you would give the audience to getting started?
Yeah, I'll say that transcends age or demographic. It really does, because what it's about is this human vulnerability. It's about a fear of judgment and rejection. It is very deep in our ancient brain. And so everyone experiences it. And so what I'm going to offer you here in response, it's a great question, is something that every job seeker can do today, and it's going to help their job search. The number one thing you can do is practice. You want to send a video that is, "Thank you, good job, congratulations, I've been thinking about you, I just noticed that," right? So when you're scrolling LinkedIn or you're scrolling Facebook or Instagram,
Happy
and
birthday.
happy birthday, an old team member, old college friend, a personal family friend, an old customer, whatever the case may be, your social feeds are loaded with timely and relevant reasons to reach out to people. And when you focus on that group with a message of, "I've been thinking about you," or "I just saw this piece of news," or "thank you," or whatever, you're starting with people you know and who know you. So it's kind of it's a lower threat thing, right? Like your longtime friend's not going to say anything bad, and you feel warmer toward that person. You don't need a script, which you never really need a script, but this is even easier because you know exactly who you're reaching out to and why. And you're going to get these replies that positively reinforce your effort. You're going to get replies. I promise you this. If you commit to do 2 of these a day for the next 5 days, you send 10 of these videos out. Just again, "Thank you, good job, congratulations," whatever. I guarantee you'll get at least 2 or 3 replies that let you know that this is different and better. And you're going to get much more comfortable with the software. You're going to get much more comfortable seeing yourself on the screen. And again, you're going to get a reply that says something like, "Oh my gosh, it was great to see you. Oh my gosh, thank you so much. Wow, this made my day," right? When you reach out to someone, even if it's a message of condolence, hey, I just want to let you know I'm thinking about you. I just found out that a friend of mine, I'm like, we're not close, but I just found out that he tested positive for COVID, as did his wife. So I just sent him a video message. Hey man, I just talked with our mutual friend. I heard that you tested positive for COVID. I just want to check in on you, let you know I'm thinking about you. If there's anything I can do, let me know, right?
Mm-hmm.
Amazing reply, super positive. Hey, it's all good. Symptoms only lasted 3 days. Both my wife and I are fantastic. Thank you so much for thinking about me. It's these little things. It took, as soon as I got that piece of news from this mutual friend of ours, it took me 30 seconds to reach out to him. And so if you find moments like those, it doesn't have to be that dramatic, but it also doesn't have to be this like overwhelmingly super positive thing. Like I just found out your son got into Harvard. Congratulations, right? It doesn't have to be that either. When you create this habit, you're going to get these replies back that let you know this is different, this is better, that you are good enough, that your video is good enough, that people are happy to see you, that this does make a big difference in your life and the lives of the people that you want to connect and communicate with, no matter their role or purpose in your greater plan.
Ethan, I love it. That's awesome practice. Let's give him a mic drop for that.
That's
Come
a
on,
mic drop moment.
mic drop.
Yeah, thank you guys. I appreciate you all so much. Again, I just really appreciate the work that you're doing to bridge relationships and help people find their next best step in their lives and their careers. It's just awesome, and it's a privilege to be a part of it. And I'm glad we can do some service.
Thanks for listening to the Who You Know Show podcast. My name is Trevor Houston, and if you've enjoyed this episode, consider subscribing wherever you listen and leave us a positive review to help us keep the mics on in the studio. Until next week, that's the show. It's all about who you know.